For the final time this season, you join us on the iRacing Esports Network as it's the final race meeting of Season 6 in the World GT Championship. It comes to you from the Watkins Glen circuit in the United States. Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath here for Apex Racing TV, bringing you all the action from the last 3 rounds of the championship. Adam, it's been a long season. You've seen it all. What can we expect from tonight, and how hard are the drivers going to have to push?
Really excited for this one. We couldn't have probably picked a better track to go to end the campaign. One of the quickest on the whole iRacing service here, and one of the oldest tracks in Watkins Glen. Plenty of gravel traps and walls to hit as well, especially around the first sector. In fact, was it round 1 where you filled in for me and we had the insanity of the back straights? That's how long ago I think it was that this season got underway. So we're back where we started to end the campaign, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the final 3 sprint races that we've got coming up.
Well, Keith Camilleri leads the championship, and barring a disaster, he'll probably be taking the title home today. Just needs a couple of finishes really to assure that. Mark Fletcher is in second place, with Michael Evdoka in third, Lewis Bibby in fourth, and Richard Gafenku rounding out the top 5. And in the Pro-Am category, Mark Woodhouse leads the way. It's a much smaller gap though, 57 points ahead of Chris Wood, Simon Underhill in third, Ethan Bass in fourth, and Ben Gregory in fifth. And in the Teams Championship, KC Racing Esports lead the way by over 400 points. They pretty much got this one sealed. Texas Fitstyle Motorsport in second, and Radicals Online Mote F in third.
There we go. Hopefully that set you all up for the evening ahead. Qualifying just underway now, 15-minute quali session. Drivers just getting their first laps on the board. Looking here at Mark Fletcher, I think he's just completed an outlap, to be fair. If not that, it was an invalid one. But we've got a 15-minute session to set the field for race 1, and then race 2 and race 3 will be done, as they always are, by the reverse grid.
Yeah, let's talk about the circuit then some more. Watkins Glen International in upstate New York, and it did used to host Formula 1 here many years ago in a slightly different configuration. And the things to watch out for, as Adam said, Armco barriers very close to the circuit, not much runoff area at all. And also, Adam, which is a bit of an underrated part of this circuit, surface changes. There's quite a lot of, from new tarmac to old tarmac, some concrete in there, some bumpy surface, some cracked surface.
Especially through this boot section now, as we're looking at Mark Fletcher going over the top of the hill. A lot of cambered corners here too, which means you can really attack them here. Here is Mark Fletcher then going into the final section of the boot. Qualifying times just starting to come up on your screen now. Don't know why second place is absent here, not too sure about that, but we'll hopefully see that appear in a moment as Fletcher rejoins the main circuit, the Cup circuit, and now he's coming into the final 2 corners where we'll see where this Radicals Online Motor car is going to be. You'd expect it to be in the top 10, but let's see as he comes through the final corner now.
Here he comes then, Fletcher to the line to complete lap 1 of his qualifying session, and goes 8th with 140.867. That's just about half a second off at the pole position time at the moment, held by Lewis Bibby, Michael Evdoka in second, as he has appeared. Dave Baker in third, Richard Gafenku in fourth.
Here is Keith Camilleri then. You were telling me before we got underway here tonight that the KC Racing boys have been attracting some national attention back in their homeland of Malta. And let's see if Camilleri can improve from his P6 provisionally. He's got 2 green boxes in sectors 2 and 3, a yellow in sector 4. But let's see what he can do in the final 2 corners here, which are going to be pretty crucial as he uses all of the track and some more going into this final corner.
Yeah, for those new to... and he's pitting, so he's aborting that particular lap, as a few drivers are. For those new to the service, as we have a look at Ethan Bass coming over. What does he do? And he doesn't improve. Matt Bunn will improve. And he does improve, but stays 22nd. For those new green boxes at the bottom, I mean, it's a personal best sector. Yellow means it's just a regular sector, no improvements, and purple means it's the fastest sector out of anybody. So look out for the purple. Purple means you're going very quickly indeed.
Dave Baker putting in a new personal best. It doesn't move him up any places, but he remains in P3. Had a good race meeting. He's had a good few race meetings with you and me in the comms box. He did awfully well in the ARL TCR on Thursday, and he wasn't too shabby either in the previous World GT Championship meeting.
Here he comes then in the Porsche. He'd normally turn right and then left in the bus stop chicane, but it's the long right-hander of the carousel which comes at you at full speed here, sometimes quite tricky to judge. And got to have some restraint through there really in order to make a fast lap. Christian Rose has made 3 personal best sectors as well, as we're still looking at Baker through the infield using that slightly newer tarmac. It's all relative, not particularly new, but slightly better condition than the rest of it. And now down into the heel of the boot. Stay as close to the curb as you can without really hitting it. Baker hits it, loses maybe half a tenth as he does so. And then same here, you've got to be right to the inside on the power quite early. The Porsche tries to wriggle away from him as he puts the accelerator down into the final sector. He's got 2 fast S's here, left and the right. Onto the curb, no personal best sectors. It doesn't look like he's going to improve, Dave Baker. Over the line he goes, and he's a couple of tenths down. Andy Shiel is in 8th. He's just made a personal best lap.
Good to see Dave Baker pushing right to the ragged edge on board that Porsche there. He was all sorts of sideways through some of the corners, and in the end he was only a tenth or 2 down on the personal best that he set a couple of laps ago. Looking here at XVR Sim Racing's Richard Warmingham, who we were racing with last night in a much different BSR TCR Audi compared to the big Beamer here. And let's see what he can do.
Very tough battle indeed. He won that one in the end, but wasn't for the want of trying. BMW coming around the final corner, then start a lap. I think that was Barry Baird. Here's Christian Rose. Personal best in Sector 2. Hasn't improved in Sector 3. Just coming up to the Sector 4 timeline. And doesn't improve there again, so I wonder if he's just going to abort his lap.
Looks like it.
So,
yeah, he's going to go into the pits, isn't he? Yeah. Halfway through in the session then. Pro-Am times, you can see them by the red boxes on the timing tower. It is Simon Underhill that's on provisional pole in that category. And then it's Pete Newman in second and Chaz Draycott in third, who's taken to life quite quickly here in the World GT Championship since returning, and he's up in the top 3 of that class already.
Yeah, 15 race starts for Draycott. Finished in the top 10 twice. Keith Camilleri, how he's got to the championship lead is by winning 5 races, being on the podium 13 times. That's by far the most out of anybody. The next most wins and podiums actually does belong, slightly unsurprisingly, to the second place man in the championship, Mark Fletcher. 3 wins, 9 podium finishes. Interestingly, actually, Adam, they've both got the exact same average finishing position, but Fletcher has done 3 races less, and that might be telling.
That could be what decides it in the end. We'll have to wait and see. Here is Mark Fletcher. You were mentioning him. Over the top of the hill he goes. Currently in P10, just half a second covering the top 10 drivers. This World GT Championship may have lost a few entrants over the course of the campaign, but it has remained as fiercely competitive as ever. Just look at that. 3 different manufacturers in the top 5 positions. In fact, 4 different manufacturers.
As I mentioned before we went on air, Adam, that most series on iRacing or anywhere else would kill for a 27-car grid, and here we have it, and it's filled with some of the best drivers in these GT3s. GTEs, sorry, not GT3s.
Yeah, it has moved on to the GTEs here, but as you can see from the track map, we have got pretty much the majority of the field out on track. So far for Fletcher, as you can see here, not too many green boxes. In fact, no green boxes at all as Dave Baker comes into the pit lane. So too Ben Palmer. Sideways Ferrari in front. That was, I think that was Chaz Draycott.
Camilleri's going quickly, Adam.
Yeah. In fact, there he is at the back of the shots. He's got his teammate right behind him too.
Sectors. Evdoka as well. He's going to come to the line just behind Camilleri. So championship leader comes across. Can he improve from 9th? He goes 5th. 140.674. Michael Evdoka. He does not improve on that occasion. Sorry, Rich Kafenko. Sorry, does not improve on that occasion.
Matt Bunn's look set to certainly improve. You'd hope so anyway, with all those green boxes. But I think it might have been an invalidated lap. Interesting to see that he's in the Ford for this one. We usually see him shotgunning the BMW in all red, but instead he's ditched that for the Ford for this final race meeting.
Yeah, we got 3 Fords in the field actually. Ben Palmer, Andy Shield, and Matt Bunn for this one. Good to see a bit more representation for the Ford out there. Oh, big wiggle from Matt Bunn into the carousel. Bunn's currently the slowest of all the drivers who set a time. Interestingly, Adam, the rest of the field is within 1 second. It's quite amazing, really.
So yeah, we got half a second covering the top 10 pretty much, and then after that, yeah, half a second covering the next 17 cars. Next to come back around the track is Camilleri again. Looks like he's not on a lap this time. In fact, he might have been helping his teammate there, car 222, maybe. I'm not too sure if Brandon Tabone's on a hot lap or not. He was following his teammate round, and I think he too is just going to be coming back to the pits. So it looks like the way things...
This might be setting up...
Yeah.
This could be setting up a tow, though, potentially, Adam.
Yeah, that might be interesting.
In front, he will get a bit of an advantage to his teammate.
Let's get the dashboard up. There you go. 245 kph before we get on the brakes into turn 1. Seen a few incidents there over the years. This current scan of iRacing has the Armco barriers jutting out there. That was where there was that massive crash in NASCAR a couple of years ago. Barriers were pushed back after that.
I think this is perfect slipstream in distance. KC Racing have got this really well done. Tabone's going to get out of this now and allow Camilleri to go through and see if he can improve. Manu leads the championship by 137 points.
So far tonight, he hasn't been able to bridge the 2.5 tenths or so to Bibby, who looks like he might be setting up for a fast lap. But look at those 2 green boxes. He has been on a fantastic lap so far as Keith Camilleri. It goes back to yellow in sector 3. Did a 24.5 on that last sector, which is pretty good still nonetheless. Up to the top of the hill he goes. Oh,
he touches the grass under braking. That might be a 1/10 of a second gone.
An ultimate turn. You'd expect this to be his final run with only 30 seconds left on the clock.
I mean, he could still do one more lap if he wants, but he's not going to have the benefit of that slipstream. Here we go. Camilleri over the line. He's done a personal best in the final sector. It is an improvement, but he doesn't improve in terms of places, Adam.
Can Christian Rose do just that? No. Might have been an invalidated lap. There were a few green boxes in there. Ethan
Mark Fletcher coming across. Is it going to be Paul? No.
No.
And crash!
It's Bunn. That Ford is already in dire straits, and it's only qualifying. Let's have a look at the replay.
I think that might be Baker who's copped that as well. Fletcher did improve, by the way, only by half a 10. Didn't actually get in any places. Bunn doesn't look like he's really enjoying the form that much. Oh, broken suspension. He tries to... Oh dear.
To be fair,
Did Baker actually improve?
He probably would have picked up an incident point, wouldn't he? And that would have, invalidated his lap. He probably wasn't on. I'm guessing if he did that, he probably wasn't on for a good lap. Anyway, now checkered flag is out. All the cars at the bottom, I believe, are still on the track. So we have still got Brandon Tabone, Keith Camilleri, Christian Rose, and Ethan Bass that can all theoretically still set times. But the answer is, do they or can they? It looks like Tabone's still going for it, though.
He would have had the tow from Camilleri in the first sector. So we'll see if that's made much of a difference to his challenge. 16th he is at the moment. See what he's going to do then. 140.389 to beat. Well, he does improve to 13th place, so 140.9 for Tabone, and 3 places gained for him.
Ethan Bass then is the final driver.
A slow lap, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's going to come into the pits as a result.
Well, another exciting qualifying session here in the World GT Championship on the iRacing Esports Network. Pretty much everyone in the field covered by a second. Means we're going to see a fantastic race, I'm sure. And that race session is going to begin now. And the grid for the first race of the evening is going to be on your screen now.
Let's run you through it then. Starting on pole position, it is Lewis Bibby. Second is Michael Evdoka. Then it's Dave Baker, Richard Gafenku. Fifth is Keith Camilleri, the championship leader. Then it's Ben Palmer. Seventh, Barry Baird. Then Christian Rose, Nicholas Helm. And then Andy Shield, just 4 thousandths of a second behind him. Next up, it's Mark Fletcher. Then Pete Harrod. Moving on further back, it is Brandon Tabone, Keith Camilleri's teammate. Then the first of the Pro-Am drivers, that is Simon Underhill. Then we've got Pete Newman. Then it's Ben Gregory. Chaz Draycott there in 4th place in the Pro-Am category. And it's Mark Woodhouse, Miguel Freitas, Chris Wood there in 20th. Ethan Bass, he was the last car to cross the line. We saw that there. He starts in 21st place. Rich Warmingham joins him on the 12th row of the grid. Then it's Richard Mike Gray, then Michael Blake, then it's Matt Bunn. And then the cars that didn't set times, Jake Blackhall. And if he's starting, not too sure if he is. To verify that, it is Steve Berg. Right
then, so we see the iRacing safety car in front of the drivers. That means, regrettably, it's going to be a full pace lap around here. It will give the drivers some time to get everything in order. Always a long pace lap though, even at Watkins Glen.
Safety car's just beginning to pull away now. Fortunately, I think the pace car's speed around here is a lot quicker than it was last night when we were racing at Zandvoort. My God, that was slow. But enough of that. We've got 3 20-minute sprint races lying in wait. And we're at one of the fastest circuits on the iRacing service in upstate New York, I think. I might have made that up. It's definitely in New York. But,
no, I think you're right.
Well, I'm from Utica. Yeah.
Not in Albany. That's a Utica expression. We're not quite northern enough to see Aurora Borealis around here. If anybody gets that, by the way, in the YouTube, have a cookie. You've done well. Right, back straight then for these drivers, and this is where the nerves obviously start to ramp up, even at the front of the field when it comes to the final race of the day, the final race of the season, the final meeting of the season, the business end, where the championship's going to be decided. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many races you've started or how many pole positions you've had. You're going to be nervous.
Always seems.
Lewis Bibby's had 2, and he wants to add to that and make that 3.
I was saying to you last night, I always feel like rolling starts, you get a bit more nervous than the standing starts. Standing starts is a bit like ripping off a plaster. Here it's just straight and instantaneous. Here it's a bit more dragged out, especially at this circuit, because of course you've got to do the full pace lap. Evening to Bobby Charles on the YouTube chat. They really need to update the animation of the flag guy. Looks like he's trying to throw the flag away and it stuck it to his hand. We'll see plenty of that. We'll probably see it when we get racing here. If not that, we'll probably see it when the checker flag comes out. So we do have full course yellows at our disposal, I think. So if the track is blocked, then we can throw the safety car.
I have just double checked that. Yes, we have. We've got admin privileges. Wisely or not, the league has allowed us those. So if there is a pile up on lap 1, I'll get my words out eventually tonight. We might be able to get we might have some safety car action, but we'll see.
Yeah, it would be regrettably if so. We did have some pretty big ones.
There were many safety cars last night, actually, and too many safety cars at Zandvoort, which is a very, very slow-paced lap indeed. Right. Here we go then. It's a Texense Fitstyle Motorsport 1-2 in qualifying. Lewis Bibby's going to be the man to bring us through to the green flag. Nice steady pace being set. Not backing the field up too much, which I respect. Pace car comes in. Bibby's away. We are racing here at Watkins Glen for the final meeting of the World GT Championship in Season 6. Poor start by Evdoka. And already, Dave Baker's trying to go up the inside into turn 1. The Porsche challenging the Ferrari. There's already a crash at the back. I think that might be Andy Shield in the Sim Sports Racing USA Ford. But as they continue up through the S's section, it looks like one of the KC Racing cars is coming under pressure. And I think that is Tabon. No, it's not Tabon, it's Camilleri coming under pressure from Palmer.
Slipstreaming begins for the first time tonight then. Camilleri going to cover the inside line, but look at that. The Sim Sports Racing USA car going to try and go around the outside there, Palmer.
Or almost nudging into each other there, Camilleri and Palmer. Camilleri does not want to give this up easily, especially when he's leading the championship. However, doesn't want to get into anything crazy or any lap 1 retirements, because even though, yes, he's virtually got this wrapped up, he can still lose it if he has an absolute nightmare of a meeting. The man challenging him is Mark Fletcher, Adam. He's just behind him in 7th place. Fletcher, it goes without saying, needs to get ahead, needs to make up some points, as many as possible, on the Maltese driver.
Fantastic start by Ben Gregory. He's already up 5 places. Simon Underhill trying to take one of them back up the inside into the final section of the boot. Nomad Sim Racing car there, also in battle. That's Mark Fletcher in the Radicals car and Barry Baird that's in front of him. But yeah, championship protagonists need to make sure that they stay out of trouble in this first race, because this is probably going to be where they win the majority of their points for the evening as they come over the line to complete the first lap.
I'm sure we can have a look at it back in a moment, but I do believe that as Barry Baird's got past Mark Fletcher, so Fletcher dropping down slightly, I do believe that it might have been Shield. He might have tangled with Christian Rose, actually, given the fact that Rose is now out of the race and they started in a very similar position. Well, Rose is in the pits, I think. I don't think he's necessarily out of the race. Definitely in the pit lane.
Right then, are we going to get some free wide action here?
Fletcher's,
we think about it.
Oh my! Well, Fletcher's trying to get this position back off Barry Baird. It's absolutely imperative for the Ferrari that he gets this done on the BMW.
2 by 2 then. It's the BMW on the outside. Well,
oh, he understeers.
He was more confident in the spotter than I was there, was Barry Baird, and he was just about able to stay ahead. In the back, you can just see there Brandon Tabone. He's latched onto the trio here, and he'll be hoping to shape up for an overtake in the future. Texense Fitstyle Motorsports Ben Gregory is there also. As here is a replay of what happened in the first corner.
Yeah, Baird was very lucky he didn't get wiped out by Fletcher there. This is Shield versus Rose. Shield goes up the middle, bang, into Rose, and then loses it. Spins around. I wonder if that's suspension damage for Christian Rose, and I wonder if that's why he's had to come into the pits.
Yeah, you would be right.
Yep.
Remarkable that it caused that much damage by just that little nudge. It didn't look too damaging from the helicopter, but that is
it didn't look like a massive hit, but he did go steaming in a little bit, didn't he? in a 3 wide situation. Maybe sets another fastest lap then as he extends the lead to 0.8 of a second. Very difficult to escape here though. How many times have we said that over the years? But it is just the fact. It is true. The slipstream being so prevalent, and 0.2 of that lead's already gone away. And I'd wager, Adam, it's going to be even more by the time we get to the carousel.
Yeah, because David Baker wants second place, and he's going to try and go to the outside here. Isn't able to get the move done in the early part. He's now ducked out at the toe, and he's going to try and power around the outside. We do often see this kind of move working, but as you will see here, Avdoka is able to go a bit more deep on the brakes and has the crucial racing line as well on the inside, so that keeps the Porsche at bay.
Well, those two did work very well together, didn't they, Bibi and Avdoka, down the straight to make sure that it was only Avdoka that could get the slipstream off of Bibi. They're going to have to carry on working like that. They're going to have to work hard for the remainder of this 20-minute race. 3 20-minute races for those who've never joined us before. We are very glad that you have here on this Monday evening on the iRacing Esports Network. The World GT Championship concludes season 6 tonight. Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath for Apex Racing TV. Battle in the background, Adam, between Underhill and Gregory, and it was like the Ferrari's gone through here.
Yeah, that's Gregory up to 11th place now, 5 places gained. Underhill just the 2. Jake Blackhall, he started at the back, wasn't allowed to participate in qualifying, at least that's what he put on the YouTube chat. He's gained 9 spots already, so the Aussie is for once having a good race meeting. In fact, I think he won here in the ARL TCR a couple of years ago. He was part of a 1-2-3 for the Apex Racing team on that occasion.
Well, Jake Blackhall was fastest in the 3-hour practice session that we had before the race, for qualifying got underway. So the Australian does have pace in that Porsche, up into 17th. Now, Dave Baker is coming under a lot of pressure from Richard Gafencu, and Gafencu is the leading light for KC Racing Esports today. 5th in the championship is the man from Romania.
Oh, spin. It's Barry Baird. Now,
BMW has gone off at the exit of the carousel. It's a very unusual place to go off. He's had to tow back to the pit, so I assume he didn't just spin. I assume he's made contact with the wall. And did he make contact with the
oh no,
Ferrari? Oh, he loses it. Has he just had enough?
So he's running outside. Slight touch.
Bang.
Oh.
Oh, is the steering broken? That didn't break the steering, did it? Surely.
Hard to tell because it was so quick between him turning right and then he just went straight onto the wall. I'm not too sure what's happened there at all to Barry Baird, but the Nomad Sim Racing white car is now in the pits. Hopefully he might get on the YouTube chat and tell us what happens. But yeah, that's unfortunate for him as it's
Matt with his teammate.
That was with his teammate.
With Nicholas Yelp?
Yeah, that was with the Nomad Sim Racing Ferrari, yeah.
That'll be an awkward debrief then.
Not the most awkward.
Well, that's not the first one that's gone on involving a Ferrari this weekend. Well, this is Shield versus Button. Shield recovering from his turn 1 antics.
And he's got Matt Bunn here for company, and you're always guaranteed an exciting battle whenever you see Matt Bunn.
Shield getting through then, but as is ever the question here at Watkins Glen, can he keep it? And who's that? Ethan Bass thinking about making it 3 wide into the carousel, and that's Chaz Draco. I don't know if he just nudged Ethan Bass, tried to just manufacture a bit of a gap up the inside, but he hasn't done it on this occasion. And the Scotsman stays in 23rd place. Jake Blackhall's made his way past Miguel Freitas and up into 14th. Blackhall's got time in this race, Adam, to make inroads, especially with everyone being so closely matched.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic race thus far. Up 12 places now. Just behind him, it looks like.
What's happened to Warmingham?
Oh no,
what's happened to Richard Warmingham? He's in the gravel.
That is at the bottom, just before the end of the boot section, and he has got going again, but he's only 24th now.
Richard Warmingham going into the gravel, and I wonder if it was contact with Michael Blake.
Oh, well.
Oh no, he just
To his credit, he could have easily slammed into the back of that car, but he did try his best to bail out. But he has resulted in damage to the car, and he's in the pits.
Unfortunately, yeah, the rear wheels, it sort of locked the rears a little bit, sent him off, spearing off into the wall.
Meanwhile,
seen that one many times before. This is going to be 3 abreast here into the carousel, and the Ferrari bails out of it wisely. Richard Gafencu doesn't want to get involved in that.
Sitting pretty at the moment.
So maybe, yeah.
Bibby's yet to be troubled as of yet. Obviously because it's a TechSense Fitstyle 1-2. So they are pretty much in control of things. CQR's David Baker is trying to crash that party. And then you've got the 2 KC Racing Esports cars. So it's a pretty tasty offering we've got here as we approach half race distance.
Yeah, Bibi, Avdoka, Baker, Gafencu, Camilleri. Then the Ford is Ben Palmer. And then the Ferrari at the back is Mark Fletcher. Fletcher really does need to get a move on. He needs to beat Keith Camilleri at least in race 1 to have any chance of lifting this World GT Championship title.
Onto the front straight they go then. Let's see what the lap times are like. You'll see them slide out of the timing tower now. 41's getting done by these guys now. Quickest at the front anyway was, as you'd expect, Lewis Birio, 41.6. 41.3 though for Mark Fletcher. That's probably the quickest out of the guys in this leading 7 cars. Of course, he has got the biggest toe because he's cut them all literally in front of him.
He's got 6 cars punching a hole in the air for him to go through. And here comes Richard Gafencu with big overspeed on the Porsche of Baker. They're all jockeying behind Palmer, trying to go around the outside of Camilleri. Gafencu trying to go around the outside of Dave Baker. No, I think that's worked. I think it's going to work for Gafencu. Into the chute. Is he through? Yes.
Ooh, just. Fantastic move there by Keith Camilleri. He's managed to get into the podium positions. Can his teammate follow him? It looks like he's trying.
No, it's Gafencu. It's Gafencu, Adam.
Yeah, he drives for KC Racing. Oh, did I say Camilleri?
Camilleri.
Yeah.
Yeah, Camilleri's running 5th. Oh, Matt Bunn. Meanwhile, we'll have a look at that in a minute, but Matt Bunn's gone down the order. I hope that's not Matt Spun. But it might be Matt Dunn, because I think he might be out.
Here it is. It's turn 1. Oh dear. That's not something's wrong.
Something's not working at all.
Something is.
Yeah, because look, he's trying to get going again. Something's broken.
He's trying to shift up.
That seems like a throttle issue.
Something hardware related. Doesn't sound healthy at all.
Nah, it doesn't look or sound good for Matt Bunn, CQR.
Fight for the top 10.
He's managed to get a 1.1 second lead actually, Adam. So
yeah.
And even then, he's still being pegged back a tiny bit down the straight. This is Underhill versus Blackhall. Blackhall continues his march through the field. Started at the very back and is now residing in the top 10, or will he be?
Oh
no, he won't, because he's made contact with Underhill.
Careful, Jake. Oh, he's back onto the track and he remains in 12th position. So no harm, no foul there. He's been able to stay on the track just about, and he's got plenty of time still with 7 minutes left to try and gain gain that place that he was trying to get there.
I think he'll be very dangerous in a reverse grid race, which we're going to have in race 2, of course. If Doak is still keeping Gafencu at bay. For how long, I don't know. Meanwhile, in the background, Tabone and Kjelmer are having their own private battle over 8th and 9th as well. They're very quick, these two, but they're just not quite able to get onto the back of the front group. They have dropped the other group, though.
One driver that would have been battling with them was Barry Baird, but then he had his incident there. So it definitely is remaining these two. Just over a tenth of a second between Baker and Keith Camilleri going into turn 1, but the Porsche remains in front for now. He's already lost third place, Dave Baker. He doesn't want to lose another position, but the Ferrari is starting to really come alive in the second half of this race.
Maybe seems like he's very quick in the second half of the lap, and then he gets pegged back down the straight. Oh, here comes Gafencu. Here comes Camilleri. Sorry, it is Camilleri this time on David Baker. He waits until the last possible moment to pull out of the slipstream to give himself the maximum chance of going around the outside through the carousel, as his teammate did. It's a carbon copy of a move by KC Racing Esports. And Camilleri gets it all sorted out in the chute, pulls out. Oh, Baker's crashed! Baker's into the wall.
Everything looks like it's pointing straight, but to add insult to injury, he's now lost P5 and P6. Bet Palmer and Fletcher have both overtaken the CQR car.
Yeah, not what Dave Baker wanted at all, but Camilleri strengthening his championship position. Hesitate to say, Adam, that he might even virtually have wrapped this up if he finishes where he is now.
I reckon Baker might have a tiny bit of damage. Watch as we go onto the front straight. I think he's almost slightly turning the wheel to the left. That might just be how he's got it set up.
It doesn't seem like it's really playing ball.
Yeah, he's turning it to the left, you can see. Yeah.
Yeah, he hit that right front suspension. He must have bent the wheel slightly.
I think
that's not what he needed. He'll be just trying everything he can to finish 7th now, but even that might be quite a difficult task.
We're so used to competing and commentating on the TCR series where the cars are built like tanks, and here it's the slightest bit of contact with the car, and we saw it with Christian Rose at the start of the race, and now we saw it with Dave Baker, a slightly inconspicuous nudge with the wall, and then you picked up some suspension damage.
Well, these are pretty strongly built, but I mean, we saw it in Interlagos yesterday, the Formula One, just how very small contact at such high speeds can absolutely ruin your suspension. And we saw that what happened to Charles Leclerc. We see similar things before David Baker here. Michael Evdoka, he's really coming under assault now from Gafencu.
Hard on the brakes into the right-hander. The Ferrari just about holds on. This really isn't much of an overtaking opportunity, just because it's uphill and it's very much one line through here.
It's off camber as well, that left-hander. Almost impossible to go around the outside effectively unless you've got a massive speed or tyre advantage, which of course these guys do not have. Maybe still 3/4 of a second clear. This might be the closest they've been to Bibby, you know, since the first couple of laps.
Well, yeah, last time around, Evdoka did a 140 compared to his teammate that did a 141.1. Haven't seen too many cars lapping the 140s on this lap. I think Dave Baker, despite his... sorry, I'm looking at the best column, aren't I? Just ignore me. They were doing 42s on the last lap.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless, here comes Richard Gafencu. He wants that second spot on the podium and wants to try and take some points away from Texense Fitstyle Motorsport as well.
Evdoka runs wide. It's not a big deal here at the carousel because it does have somewhat of a runoff area on the outside. And that's the right thing to do from Evdoka. He slid the car into the corner, Adam. He carried more mid-corner speed, and it slid him up in front of Gafencu, and that's exactly the way to overtake. Too many times people are just content with getting side by side, aren't they? You want to go through, you want to make that clearance, you want to get in front of the car, and then you can dictate the pace.
Wonder if these guys sitting behind Michael Evdoka are starting to maybe lose their patience, or know that time is of the essence, because when we get to the line, we're going to be starting the fight, and everything is still all to play for, even maybe the win. Bibby isn't out of the woods just yet, as he has a 3/4 of a second advantage.
We've seen it in the past, haven't we? Patience can be in short supply.
Oh, well, we know all about that.
In sim racing in general, yeah. So a couple of drivers last night in the BSR TCR just decided to punt other drivers out of the way when they couldn't get their way instantly. Not naming any names this time. But Palmer now having a look on Camilleri and sent the Ferrari just squirming around as he fights for grip on the exit of turn 1. He's got the slipstream from his teammate, but he knows that 4GT, which is pretty quick in a straight line, he's right there, ready to pounce in the event of any mistake, even the slightest one. From the championship leader, and Fletcher's gone. Fletcher spun, and then the two KC cars make contact. They nearly took each other out. That could have blown the championship wide open, but what it's done is it's basically crowned Keith Camilleri.
Fletcher's got right rear damage, but I'm amazed how those KC Racing cars, I thought for certain they were going to take each other out in avoidance. But they've managed to somehow stay on the island.
Yeah, the only thing that actually would have worked for Mark Fletcher is if Camilleri had have ended up in the wall. I think Camilleri has damage, you know. So he is not going quickly at all. Now that incident's happened. But just 2 corners to go for Lewis Bibby. And it's been an absolute masterclass at the front from the BMW driver. Texense Fitstein Motorsport are looking like taking their 1-2 finish. And the man at the head of it for BMW is Lewis Bibby. He's driven a wonderful race. He's really shown a mature, consistent drive. Excellently done.
Great job by them. P8 for Simon Underhill. He takes the Pro-Am honours in this race ahead of Jake Blackhall, who finishes in P9 after starting stone dead last, 17 places gained. Great job by the Aussie there, and Mark Fletcher, there he is. He finishes in 10th in the end.
Fletcher came smoking and stuttering across the line, just like his title chances, I think, have just gone up in smoke. And this is how, Adam.
So he goes on the outside, and granted there's not going to be too much grip out there, but I think he...
Oh! And Camilleri... Sorry, Evdoka... no, Evdoka. I'll get it right the third time I'm asking. Gafenku loses it on his own, so him and Fletcher both lose the car. At the same time, almost synchronised spinning, and Camilleri was very fortunate to not end up absolutely running into him.
Now, let's have a look at what Mark Fletcher does. I can't tell if it was trying to take evasive action or not, but yeah, that was a moment.
No, I think he'd lost it before. I think he lost it before Gafenku did. Maybe fractionally, but Gafenku, they just made a mistake at the same time.
On the final lap as well. Now that was heart in your mouth stuff for both drivers. Fletcher managed. It could have been a lot worse for Fletcher. He could have retired, but he does.
I believe it was in this championship where we saw one of the 2 most amazing finishes I think we've ever seen in this series. With, I believe it was Ben Haxton winning on that day.
And here we have the results from the opening race. Then, of course, we've got a reverse grid to come in race 2 and race 3. So do stick around. Lewis Bibby wins then. Michael Evdoka in second to make it a Texense Fitstein Motorsport 1-2. Then Ben Palmer getting the Ford up to 3rd place in the end. That is a fantastic effort from him. Then it's the trio of KC Racing Esports cars. One for the camera. Richard Gafenku, Brandon Tabone and Keith Camilleri, championship leader there in 6th. Dave Baker in 7th in the end. And then it's the 2 Pro-Am drivers, Simon Underhill and Jake Blackhall, finishing 1 and 2 in their class. 8th and 9th overall. There's Mark Fletcher in 10th. Ben Gregory 11th. 12th for Pete Harrod. Then 13th for Pete Newman. Miguel Freitas, Chris Wood and Woodhouse, all teammates, all crossing the line in sync in 14th, 15th, 16th. Then it's Michael Blake. Then Andy Shield finishes in P18 after spinning at the first corner after some contact with Christian Rose. 19th for Mike Gray. Ethan Bass there in 20th. 21st for Charles Draycott. Christian Rose recovered to 22nd. Rich Warmingham off in the gravel in the boot section. It's a long way back from there, and he managed to recover to P23. The last classified finisher, Matt Bunn, don't know what happened to him. Something weird befell the CQR GT racing car. And then Barry Baird, not too sure what happened to him either. He was side by side with his teammate. The two made contact, and then he went off into the wall and retired after that. So, yeah, not too sure about that. But he is.
I could only imagine he had wheel damage of some description.
But he must have known it pretty quick. Yeah, he must have literally known it pretty quickly, and that's why he went into the wall. These drivers are the best in their discipline. Then he must have known straight away that contact with the Ferrari of his own teammate must have.
Well, I think he couldn't steer. I think he had the contact, and he tried to save it. I think he just couldn't steer properly, and then that's what it looked like anyway. And that's what hit the wall, and then they caused a spin. So, who knows? But it looked like something was going on there anyway.
Thanks to everybody in the YouTube chat to help any newcomers. Yeah, the red names in the red boxes. So the red boxes mean they are fighting in the Pro-Am category. And for additional information, if you see a white box start flashing red, that means they are off the circuit. So, yeah, learn with us as the evening goes on. Right, we have got a reverse grid to do for the first time tonight. And I will track it down for us and we will get it going. And find out who's going to be on pole for race 2.
For new viewers, the spinning wheel will go around, and where it stops, the number will dictate pole position. If we have a full, of course, that'll be all the drivers who finish on the lead lap. So in this case, if it's a full, it'll be, or if it's a higher number than 23, it will be Richard Warmingham that's going to be the recipient of a pole position. So let's see what happens.
Indeed, yeah, we've got it ready. Here it is, and let's spin the wheel. Oh, yes! It was going to be 14, but instead it's just ticked over into 24.
So yeah, Richard Warmingham, well, he might not have been too pleased with us last night, but he was going to be very pleased with us now as we put him onto pole position. Christian Rose is going to be second, Chaz Draycott third, Ethan Bass in fourth, and then Mike Gray will be starting in fifth place when we return at the other side of the commercial break as the World GT Championship continues on the iRacing Esports Network.
to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Clapton is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Looks to the outside, and Truncate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the upset the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and the World GT Championship. Season 6, this is the penultimate round of the championship. This one, race 2 of the evening here at the Watkins Glen circuit in the United States. Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath bringing you the action for Apex Racing TV. And Adam, the first race was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Second race is reversed. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be unpredictable, I'm sure.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what's going to happen here. We've got as big a reverse grid as we possibly can get. Obviously, Warmingham and Barry Baird missed out on that as we get set to go to Denmark. But here we go, getting set to go on the formation lap. And let's bring you up the starting grid. It's Rich Warmingham starting on pole, Christian Rose in second. Then it's Chaz Draycott in third, highest of the Pro-Ams. Then it's Ethan Bass, Mike Gray, then Andy Shield, Michael Blake, Mark Woodhouse in 8th. Chris Wood starting in 9th, and Miguel Freitas completing the top 10. Then it's Pete Harrod, Ben Gregory for Texense Fitstyle Motorsport. And 13th on the grid is Nicholas Helm. Then it's Mark Fletcher, Jake Blackhall and Simon Underhill. Blackhall's reward for fighting through the field as he's starting in the lower half of the grid again. And then it's Dave Baker, Keith Camilleri, who, as you were saying at the end of the Race 1 broadcast, that has pretty much got this championship sewn up now. Then it's Brandon Tabone, Richard Gofenku, all three of them teammates. And then it's Palmer, Ev Docker, and then on the back row, all by himself, it is the Race 1 winner, Lewis Bibby. So that means that we've got no Matt Bunn for Race 2. We've also got no Barry Baird either for Race 2. So
they could have both been technical problems then, really, looking at it then.
That is true, yeah.
There's one more missing as well, which I can't quite...
Steve Burt, but I don't think he took the start, did he?
No, there was 27, weren't there, including him, so there's one more.
Warmingham. Oh no, he's on the pole, sorry.
one more that we haven't, that's gone missing throughout this break. Trying to figure out who it is. But it's not obvious at the moment. But hey, with or without the missing drivers, we're going to go racing for another 20 minutes here at Watkins Glen. Richard Warmingham has the honour of starting on pole. He's got his work cut out for him a bit because he's got Christian Rose behind him. We know he's quick. But to be honest, I think with the field being so close, I think whoever was on pole is going to have a job on to win the race. And like you say, they've still got to escape that slipstream, which we've seen can be over 1 second and it's still effective.
I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen with this as well, because of course there's not too many Ferraris in the top 10. And the Ferrari, from what we saw with the guys at the front in race 1, was pretty powerful when it had a car in front of it to act as the tow. So this could factor into Draycott and Gray's hands, and it will help the guys further down the field as well. But they've all got to negotiate the first few corners, which, as we saw at the start of the season, is easier said than done, and particularly when cars start conducting vanishing acts in front of us.
Warmingham needs to get a good getaway here. This is essential for the XVR driver. He needs to get the best jump possible in order to get just the most distance between he and Rose, between now and the carousel. The pace car is in, and Richard Warmingham goes. The green light is on here at Watkins. It's not the best start, it's not a bad one. Rose is going to get a great run up the hill though, Adam. He's going to be tucked right in behind him.
Looks like they made it all through the first corner safely. Let's have a look then. Up the hill we go, through the S's. You can see Rose trying to set up the BMW. He's going to have a go straight away here, surely, as we power onto the back straight.
Yeah, where does he go, Warmingham? Does he stay on the white line on the inside? He does. Forces Rose to go the long way round into the carousel. We're approaching the fast right-hander now. Who's going to come out on top between Richard Warmingham and Christian Rose? Rose has gone all the way around the outside of Warmingham though, and he takes the lead. Brilliant stuff. Oh, That was just a bit wide for Warmingham, but he survives it. Ethan Bass up to third.
Chaz Draycott looking at the inside of Ethan Bass. He wants to try and take that third place back away from the BMW, but he's not going to have the speed on the inside of that right-hander. That's what makes it so special, that corner. If you carry the speed around the outside, you're able to maintain your position ahead of your opponents. Here comes Mike Gray, the XVR car, now trying to be top dog in the Ferraris. He's looking up the inside, or maybe top horse. Bang!
Oh, bang! Into Draycott.
And into the Ford.
Oh, then Draycott's in the wall. And there's a Porsche off as well. I think that might be Blackhall.
Oh, Mike Gray's done. Mike Gray is done after that. Freitas in strife as well. Not too sure what happened to the Portuguese.
Mike Gray did go flying into that left-hander though. A little bit, maybe outbraked himself a tiny bit. Nowhere really Draycott could go. Draycott ends up in the barrier. Gray ends up out of the race. Also, Tabone's down to 20th as well, so something's gone wrong for him. This is Brandon Tabone then. Does he get rear-ended by Blackhall here, maybe? Oh, Blackhall hits Freitas. Oh, and that's what happened to Freitas then. Tabone just had to stop. I don't think he actually took any damage. I don't think he actually got hit. But he's had to slow down, really, to avoid the contact.
Freitas, there he is, the BMW on the... There you go, bang, up the rear. Oh, and Blackhall gets...
I think second lick in, doesn't he?
And then the Draycott incident is here.
So he does leave the door open for Gray. Gray comes in.
Oh, that's not the camera.
Oh yeah, he's not going to make the corner, is he? And then he gets hit by Andy Shield. Does Gray, which is what really puts Draycott into the wall. So this is on board with Draycott.
Oh
yeah.
Wasn't the slightest touch. Oh, and there's the big impact.
That's the one that finishes him off. That's like a that's like getting checked into the boards in ice hockey. It's the one that properly ended him. He's still going, he's Draycott, but down in 21st place.
Yeah, the tyre barriers, I'm told, are not too forgiving around here. If you do hit them, then you are likely to suffer.
Rose leads them by 1.1 seconds over Warmingham. Bass is third, Shield is fourth, Blake is fifth, Wood is sixth, and it's Harrod, Gregory, Fletcher and Hjelm, with Underhill just behind them. That's the top 11, they're all in a big group. It's going to be telling Adam whether Rose can get away from this group or whether Slipstream's just going to be too powerful for him. And that's Mark Fletcher having a look at Gregory. Into the carousel, Gregory resists, so Fletcher has to stay ninth.
Just a little bit in front of him is Pete Harrod and Chris Wood. They're fighting over 6th and 7th place. It's two BMWs going at it. One drives for Team Mad, one drives for CQR GT, and it's the Team Mad Beamer that runs a bit wide, but just like at the start of the race, we saw there that the car on the outside can power the speed on the exit and maintain the place.
There's a lot of corners on this track actually where you can go around the outside if your opponent is a bit lenient to you on the inside. And Fletcher's really looking for a way past Gregory, searching every which way for an opening. Can he find the opening though, Adam? That's the question, because I mean he needs to do it quickly if he's going to make his way towards the front.
Yeah, he's gained 5 spots already. Lewis Bibby, the race 1 winner, has gained 10 in relation to that. The BMW are already up to 13th spot. You can see him on the timing tower there. He's just a second away from Ben Palmer in 12th. Here comes Fletcher though. A few people on the YouTube chat wondering why they were using all the runoff area there. You don't get an off track for it. Watch what happened when the IndyCar series went to COTA in real life. Then you'll see what they do with track limits.
Oh dear. Track limits are very much advisory in the United States, it seems. As oh, there's a couple of moves here going on. It's Harrod, and Harrod's having a look on the inside of Wood, and then Fletcher's still having a look on Gregory. Camilleri's down to 18th. by the way. That's where he started, actually. Camilleri. And there's a big gaggle with he, Baker and Evdoka, as this is still going on between Harrod and Wood. And it looks like the CQR man has got through. Pete Harrod's up to 6th. He's got 5 places gained. And Fletcher almost could have gone up the inside of Gregory there. Oh, it's still round the outside of him. Was there a tiny bit of contact? Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. But oh, look at the body language of that car, Adam. He's agitated in there.
Yep, 6 minutes on the clock, and he knows he wants to get a bit further forward. He's trying to get by the Texan.
Oh, crash!
Oh no!
Oh.
No! Well, it was all going so well in race 1, but I think he was at the eye of the storm in that one. Race 1 was his good racing. Returns to form here. Let's see what happened. Here's the replay. Oh, inside curb.
Boing. No, just got on the power too early. I think did Black Hole.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But that's the thing. That's a steep curb, and you don't want to be on that and putting the power down. Rear wheels are going to overtake the front of the car. Look at that gaggle behind. Look at it. Dear me. Fletcher, Palmer, Helm, Underhill, Bibby are within half a second of each other. Don't mean half a second each car. I mean the lot of them. Half a second.
And that's 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Helm!
Just about survives. We've already seen two Nomad cars colliding in race 1.
Yeah, one of them was he.
And that's Fletcher.
Baird. Not Baird.
Yeah, it was Baird.
Was it Baird?
Yeah. And he was never seen again. Oh,
there goes. That's Ben Palmer.
And he too was having a great evening until that incident. And the Ford is now having to get back around and carry on again. But he's got damage.
To the bits, Palmer after that. Ethan Bass trying to hang on to 3rd place. Andy Shield is looking for a step on the podium.
What a change in fortunes this has been for Andy Shield. Oh,
bang! And the fortunes have just turned again. They're both off into the fence ignominiously.
Oh, well, I didn't mean that, but I'll take the money later. Yeah, I'll take the money later, guys, at CQR GT and XVR. That's
the Adam Bath Sobriety Club taking away everyone's bubblies since 2019.
Oh. Probably why I haven't got any in. Let's have a look at the replay. We were riding on board at the time when that happened. And this was Andy Shield going for 2nd place. Sorry, going for 3rd place.
Amazing pictures it was from on board as well. Just goes in a bit. It's like maybe Bass was a tiny bit slow on the apex, but Shield carried so much speed in. Let's have a look. I just didn't. He
so quick on entry.
Didn't judge it, Shield.
I think he was
difficult one.
Obviously, of course, because the drivers use so much of that runoff area on the exit, they're probably entering at different speeds because they know that they can run as wide as they can on the exit, and maybe that was just Ethan Bass thinking that he can.
Wow.
He's not going to take as much runoff area as the Ford. I'm not sure, but regardless,
Bass was flashing the lights at him from 2 seconds behind down the straight, saying, you
shake harder, boy."
Yeah, they're very, very slowly getting away. Meanwhile, at the front, speaking of very slowly getting away, actually, Christian Rose, 2.5 seconds now clear of Warmingham.
Fastest lap of the race, Michael Evdoka, Ben Gregory's teammates who we're looking at here. He's got Dave Baker in front of him, Christian Rose's teammate.
Yeah, Baker in 12th, Evdoka in 13th.
Well, the Ferrari is looking mighty here.
It's rapid up the hill, is that Ferrari? Baker's getting a bit of slipstream from Helm. Oh, wow. Look at that overspeed for Evdoka. He's going to try and go all the way around Nicholas Helm. He's going to try and do it in the carousel, fastest corner on the track. And he has done that.
Oh, that was brave.
Fine style, and Dave Baker with a clean move as well.
Didn't help.
Going through.
Oh, Underhill. It didn't help that Helm had a little bit of a wiggle going through the middle of the carousel, which just heightened the tension a little bit more. Underhill's lost one place. He's down to 9th, and he's lost another place. He's down to 10th if Gafenku gets by.
Well, Lewis Bibby, not the lap just gone, but the previous one, did set the fastest lap of the race. It was since usurped by Michael Evdoka, but Bibby is charging. We saw he won race 1. He did it relatively easily as there's a big wiggle from Underhill. And he very nearly lost it coming out of that left hand. It's a tough little corner, that. It's the most unassuming corner on the track, I think. Is the corner after the heel. And he claims some victims, I'll tell you that.
Close here between quite a few battles going on. This is Chris Wood versus that is Mark Fletcher. Oh, careful. And that is Fletcher through and up into P5.
Well, Fletcher must have dispatched Gregory while all that other nonsense was going on. Andy Shields sets the fastest lap, down in 18th place. Bizarrely. Michael Blake's having a look on Pete Harrod for 3rd as well. He definitely wants a little bit of the bubbly.
That's the first time tonight. I think we've lasted just over an hour.
Restraint.
Yeah. Here we go then. Savotal Smile time, trying to get on the podium. Of course, Michael Blake, the highest Pro-Am driver in the field too. He's got Chris Woods behind him.
See Harrod's car lurching around. The only thing with the BMW is it can look a bit like a boat when it's going around corners. You can see it just sort of corners in a very different way to the Porsche of Michael Blake. It does show BMW on Blake's graphic, but he did change from the BMW a couple of weeks ago, citing braking issues for his change. Looks like he's doing a good job in the Porsche though.
Yeah, he got used to it. I think that's how we can describe it last week. Did see him sliding about a little bit, but Blake's looking right at home in the car this time.
Yeah, it wasn't the best race meeting I've ever seen from him, but it's like he's going quite well this time. Oh, look at that. Ben Gregory up the inside of Richard Gafenku into turn 1.
Or is it Gafenku trying to go around the outside? Either way, it's still wheel to wheel.
Sorry, it's Evdoka, isn't it? It's not Gregory.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Sorry.
There's so many Tech Sense cars in the field, and look at this. He's about to get mugged.
Might get mugged again. We might get a 3-wide situation coming here. No, we're not. Seems like Baker is smart enough to not partake in that. Oh, bit of contact. Gafenku just nudges into Evdoka. That's going to rage on. Chris Wood trying to defend his 5th place from Lewis Bibby. BMW versus BMW here.
No idea where Lewis Bibby's come from. All of a sudden he's up to 6th, and he could be in the top 5 in a minute.
Started at the back, of
now
course, being full reverse grid and winning the first race. And has he cleared Chris Wood? No, he hasn't. And this is where we've seen some difficulties, shall we say. Go around the outside. We said it was very hard to do.
Yee.
Oh, it is! But he's done it. He's passed him through the grass. Channeling Dale Earnhardt Sr. there.
Not many times we've seen that tonight, and yeah, we said at the beginning of the show how we're probably not going to see too many overtakes around the outside there, but
well, I said it was almost impossible. So look who's an idiot.
Almost being the key word. 3 wide at the back, or nearly. It's still 2 wide though, and it's Baker versus Tabone going into turn 1. Gafenku just in front, running very wide and darting back onto the circuit before they pick up an off track.
And how great is this? All of this is for 11th place. And Gafenku had to really get out of that. Now, if Baker's smart, oh well, I tell you, he's having his own battle. was Tabone that we saw getting out of it. Gafenku's the one alongside him. Car 44. Probably thinks he's got the best fans here. Watkins Glen. Baker's trying to shoot round the outside at the chute.
Ooh.
Can't quite do it. He's just about clear is Richard Gafenku. I like what Nicholas Helm's doing, Adam. Taking a wide line, just trying to get a good exit. He might be able to surprise somebody. So that somebody in question is probably going to be Brandon Tabone, if anyone.
Yeah, he's now arrived onto the back of these guys, and we'll see what kind of speed the Nomad Sim Racing white car has got. The Swede now hard on the brakes into the final section of the boot. He's sort of racing in country colours, probably wrong shade of blue for that. But anyway, through the final two corners we go. It's Romania versus Britain versus Malta versus Sweden. A truly multinational championship. That's what it is. The World GT Championship as he nearly hits the wall.
Gafenku almost was almost disaster for him.
Simon Underhill up into 8th place. He's just got past Chris Wood. Meanwhile,
yeah, it's been a decent race for Underhill. He started 16th.
It's Bibby versus Blake down the back straight.
Well, Michael Blake probably thought he wouldn't see anything of Lewis Bibby in this race, but here he is. Oh! Just driven clean around the outside into the carousel. He's got some real pace in that BMW, he really has.
Back with these guys. And this probably is the penultimate lap of the race. So Baker and Gafenku are running out of time, but I bet you they want this battle to rage on and on throughout the evening. Fantastic scrap.
It may well.
Yeah, because as things stand, they'll probably be starting with each other for the reversed grid. The smallest we can go on the wheel is 14. So if that number was to be drawn, it would be Helm on the pole.
Yeah, Helm's the one. Maybe Camilleri should endeavour to try and get involved in this, just in case it does become 14. Currently in 15th place, Camilleri. He does not need to really make any progress. He might just want to make that extra one place if he can. Who knows? Final lap then begins. It's Christian Rose who's got quite a handsome lead really for a race at this circuit.
Now Michael Blake, he has got Mark Fletcher behind. It's not the end of the world for Blake if Fletcher gets by, because of course Blake competing for the Pro-Am Championship, and Fletcher, he's looking up the inside into the S's.
Yeah, Blake's off out in the marbles. Oh, and you can see he had real trouble. Almost losing it over 150 miles an hour. That would have been a big one if he'd lost it there.
And because of that, look how slow Blake is. Gregory is going to arrive on the scene now. Into the carousel, and he just can't get there.
What's Gregory doing? Oh, he's just, wow. Oh, if he makes this round the outside.
Ooh,
It's a very clever boy indeed, but not so clever this time. He's very slow out of the chute, and here comes Underhill. Gregory's going to try and fight this, but he's going to have dirt on his tyres. His tyres might be overheating from that slide that he had, that massive slide through the left-hander. Here comes Underhill again. Michael Evdoka's interested in this as well. What a scrap we've got on our hands here. This is the final lap of the race. Into the hill we go. Oh, and it's going to come to grief. Through the grass goes Gregory. And Underhill's through. But meanwhile, into the final corner comes Christian Rose. We'll see how that ends in a moment. But flashing his lights in jubilation comes Christian Rose. He started on the front row. Took the lead early on. And he's romped to victory there, winning by 2 seconds. It's a country mile around this circuit. Richard Warmingham also started on the front row. He finishes in 2nd place. It was Harrod in 3rd, Bibby in 4th, and Fletcher in 5th.
Just look at all those intervals as though all those guys come across the line. We had that battle between Blake, Underhill, Evdoka and Gregory. And Wood also involved there too. And then just 0.3 of a second behind them, you've got all of these guys. Baker, Gafenku, Tabone, Helm and Camilleri too. That was the battles might not have been at the front, but in the midfield, that was some quality slicing and dicing going on there.
Yeah, tremendous stuff. Really, really great racing all the way through the field. And that's what the reverse grid does. When it is a large reverse grid, you see the guys at the back, they struggle to make progress sometimes just because of the fact that they have to race against each other. And we've seen that many, many times in the past. And yeah, it makes for a great race. We're going to have a reverse grid draw in just a moment or two. But first, the results of race 2.
Indeed, here they are. Christian Rose wins the race. Second for Rich Warmingham. Third for Pete Harrod. Fourth for Lewis Bibby, the race 1 winner. He's finished in the top 4 so far tonight. Then Mark Fletcher in 5th. Then it's the 2 AMs. Michael Blake winning that category. And Simon Underhill finishing in 2nd. They finish 6th and 7th overall. Then it's the 2 TechSense Fitstyle Motorsport teammates of Adoka and Gregory. Chris Wood, just a tenth of a second away in 10th. Then it's Dave Baker, Richard Gafenku, Tabone, Camilleri. What a duel it was between those guys. Then it's Mark Woodhouse in 15th, Andy Scheel in 16th. I'm not sure if he set the fastest lap of the race in the end, but he was mighty quick despite the crash that he had with Ethan Bass. Scheel's teammate Ben Palmer finishes in 17th. And then the rest of the results are rounded out by Miguel Freitas 19th, Chaz Draycott in 20th, Jake Blackwell, there he is in 21st, and Mike Gray, the only car not to finish. I'm sure we had 23 entrants. Not too sure why there's only 22 on there. Not too sure about that, but it'll be missing someone.
Well, Mike Gray was 23rd. Is Chaz Draycott on there?
No, Chaz Draycott is. Yeah, he's in 20th.
That's a bit weird.
We're missing Helm. Not too sure.
All
why.
right, yeah. Bit of a technical issue there, but hey. Right, reverse grid then. Nicholas Helm did finish in 14th place. So if it is that smallest reverse grid that's available, then it will be he who goes on to pole position. So I'm sure he'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, hopefully the reverse grid can do us a favour and do 22, and then we know it'll be Blackwell on the pole. We'll have to see, because here it is. We're getting set for the final reverse grid of the season. And let's spin it. Oh, and it's made my life very easy. It is 22. I'm not. I didn't mean that, but yeah, it is 22.
22 then. That is Jake Blackwell then. So he'll be on pole and he'll be hoping his fortunes change. He was fastest in practice, so can he make a break for it out the front? Chaz Draycott will be starting on the front row with Miguel Freitas in 3rd, Ethan Bass in 4th, and Ben Palmer in 5th when we return on the iRacing Esports Network as the World GT Championship comes to a conclusion.
to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Race lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Drunke goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show under the world of outlaw.
welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network. You join us on the grid for the final race of Season 6 of the World GT Championship. And Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath with you for Apex Racing TV. Just about ready for the start. And it's the Australian Jake Blackhall on pole position, courtesy of the reverse grid. Adam, and if there's anyone who needs a bit of luck and a good finish at the end of the season, it's most likely him.
Yeah, things went well for Jake Blackhall in race 1, but then in race 2, things kind of went pear-shaped. Story of his season, really. So hopefully he can get the job done here. He's had a stroke of luck with the reverse grid, and we'll see if he can end the season on a high. Everybody else is trying to do the same. And as we look through the rest of the grid now, there's plenty of drivers that could spoil the Aussies' chance. Chaz Draycott starting second on the grid. And it's Miguel Freitas, Ethan Bass, then Ben Palmer, Andy Shield, who's had his fair share of misfortune this evening. And Mark Woodhouse, Keith Camilleri, Nicholas Helm. Then it's Brandon Tabone in 10th. Then Richard Gafenko in 11th. Dave Baker in 12th. And the rest of the grid is as follows. Chris Wood, Ben Gregory, Michael Evdocker, then Simon Underhill, Michael Blake starting in 17th, Mark Fletcher in 18th, Lewis Bibby pretty much starting at the back, Pete Harrod 20th, Rich Warmingham, the race 2 runner-up I should say, in 21st, and starting at the back in 22nd is Christian Rose. We have lost another entrant for this one. I'm just trying to work out who it is.
Well, with by the way, as well, with 60 points available for the race win, Keith Camilleri pretty much confirmed as the drivers' champion. But of course, all results are provisional, so we won't be able to bring you a definitive answer to any of the championship questions, sadly, by the time we leave. Once all penalties have been applied and protests have gone through and things like that, then we will know the status of the championship. Very slow pace lap here.
Yeah, I can't see the safety car.
Safety car is just in front, but yeah, it is a bit of a slower pace than we've seen previously. I wonder if Blackhall's going to try and get a long run up here.
We saw how late Verstappen went yesterday. We also saw how late Hamilton went. I thought they both cocked it up, but
yeah,
they knew better.
We saw a race like that at Interlagos on our channel.
Yeah. For those that haven't seen it, it's worth a laugh. Basically, the pace setter, I won't mention him for fear of continued embarrassment. 40 created a big enough gap, went, and you can imagine he went through the left-hander, saw the safety car there, and slammed on the anchors, and everyone crashed into each other.
It was fun. It wasn't his finest hour. Yeah, we'll spare him the embarrassment on this occasion, at least.
He did crash on the formation lap on national television, though.
Well, he did. So he's already had the embarrassment, really, hasn't he? So the safety car, then, has taken its leave of absence. We need to be ready, because Jake Blackhall may go at any moment. The pace car is pulling into pit lane now. So any time now, he needs to go. Or maybe he will just bring us to the green at a slow pace. Oh, he's going now. I'm not sure that's the best time to go. But Jake Blackhall has gone as the flagman tries to dispatch the green flag onto the circuit for the last time. What a start in the end. I tell you what, I was thinking he was not giving himself the best chance, Blackhall, going so late on. Made a brilliant getaway, Adam.
Well, he's left them all for dead. We'll see what happens when we go onto the back straight, though. It's 2 wide in 2 rows here as they speed onto the back straight. It's Draycott versus Freitas. 2 wide in many places here down the long back straight here.
Let's see how it all shakes itself out then into the carousel. Draycott second place, Freitas third.
No!
Oh, bit of contact, Bass. Bass is around, he keeps going, he saved it. Might have had a small touch with the wall, but that's it. So Ethan Bass carries on his merry way.
Close battles here. There's a lot of the KC racing cars here. They're pretty.
Oh!
What's happened?
Well, Helm absolutely just lane changed not in front of one of the Porsches. I was certain there was going to be contact. Managed to get away with it.
Oh, dive bomb.
Oh, he's going for the inside, 3 wide. Oh, the KC racing cars have hit each other. Tabone goes off.
Yeah,
That's a contact with Camilleri.
Sacrificial lamb there. Now he's at the rear. There's a.
He'll be very Maltese cross after that one, won't he?
Oh dear. Into the final corner they go. Then to complete the opening lap, it's Jake Blackwell that has a 3/4 of a second advantage. It's often so difficult for him to race a lot of these people because, of course, he's racing on the other side of the world. But if you're at the front, you can hopefully, for his sake, do a good job of managing the pace. But nonetheless, that was a pretty chaotic first lap.
It's net code. It never does him any favours, really, does it? I think Michael Blake might be out of the race, you know.
Blake is still going, but is the car pointing in the right direction? The answer to that looks like it's a yes. But as he gets passed by Brandon Tabone, I think he might have had a coming together at the first corner. So after taking the Pro-Am honours in race 2, it looks like things have taken a turn for the worse here in race 3.
It looks like Ethan Bass is going to...
Minus
oh, yeah.
Slices
it's a tiny quarter panel, wasn't it? And with the Porsche being rear-engined, it's quite easy to unsettle the rear. Or rear-wheel drive, sorry, not rear-engine in this format, is it? But now, got a Ford versus Ford battle out here. Ben Palmer versus Andy Shield. 2 Sim Sports Racing USA drivers. And we're having a bit of fun at the end of the season. Jake Blackwell's lead is 2.7 seconds. It's an encouraging start for him. Sorry, it's 1 second, isn't it now? Sorry. Oh, wait, what's happened? Has he made a mistake, Blackwell? Because it's coming down massively.
Or has he had an issue in the final corner, perhaps?
Even with the slipstream, there's no way that Draycott would gain over half a second in the one straight.
Now, he went off the track here, apparently. Hit the inside curb. Is he just going to run a teensy bit wide? Okay. But I'm more intrigued to find out what's going to happen in these final 2 corners, because you're right, he did lose a lot of time.
So he was... Ooh. Oh! Little bit of the bobbly.
A little bit of the scrapey along the wall there. Well, if he did, it was very...
But then the final corner, I still think he makes a mistake in the final corner, because he lost half a second down there.
Probably had...
And Draycott will be very interested in trying to pick up his, what I believe, I'm pretty sure, his first ever win in the World GT Championship.
He must have had muck and whatever all over his tyres. Draycott mows the lawn a little bit there.
A little late for trimming the verge, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And Miguel Freitas, the red rocket that is the Team Mad BMW, looking well in third.
Yeah, Freitas is always there or thereabouts. Ethan Bass has come to grief. Oh, yeah!
That's the ascent on the hill.
Well, I thought he was going to come right into the middle of the track there.
Blackpool
Gregory was coming fast.
Yeah, Blackpool's restored his 3/4 of a second lead. I just want to see what happened to Ethan Bass there. He's got the BMW behind, in front of him of Richard Warmingham, I think. And up the inside. Oh, wow, wiggle on the entry. And then hits the wall.
Wow, unusual one.
Lucky not to get stuck, and then
it hits the wall again.
And then gets going just about in about clear space.
Oh. Bad luck for him. For Ethan. We're on board with Woodhouse now. He's got the posture of Baker bearing down on him. Not too much overspeed here though, Adam.
But Baker's definitely bringing a lot of people with him, as you can see. You got Camilleri and you got Evdoka.
A little bit of the cavalry following Baker. Grass gets kicked up by Gafenku, I think. Might have been the Ford. It might have been the Ford actually ahead that kicked the dirt and the grass up at the exit of the corner. Oh, Baker trying to slide it in front of Camilleri. Champion-elect Keith Camilleri. Having some fun in the last race, I'm sure.
Dockers to our left. He's somewhere there. There he is, on the inside, into the left-hand. Oh, is he going to have a go on Baker? Nearly.
Camilleri goes a bit wide. Gets a really good exit from the corner, though. Does he have enough room on the outside? Try and go round the outside.
Oh,
if Doka nearly loses it. Camilleri's through, Underhill's through.
I nearly lost the front there. That was remarkable by the Texense Fitstyle car. Jake Blackwell has now put in a new fastest lap of the race. Only 2 tenths quicker than Draycott on that previous tour. So
39.9, that's pretty impressive.
Not too many times we've seen like that. Of course, he was quickest in practice, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to be the most frustrating thing for Jake Blackwell, is that, you know, he was so quick in the warm-up, and yeah, it just, unfortunately, with being banned from qualifying, he couldn't really do a great deal in race 1 in terms of challenging near the front. This is the first time all night he's been anywhere near the head of the race, really. And look at the intervals on the timing tower, Adam. They're all so close together, apart from Richard Gafencu, but even he looks like he's catching Andy Shield.
Yeah, it's literally just a sea of yellow or orange on our timing screen. The only white bits are between Gafencu and Helm, and Warmingham and Tabone at the rear. That's how close everybody is.
Harrod versus Wood. Looks like it's very close.
There you go. CQR GT versus Team Mad.
Oh! He's done well there around the outside. Pete Harrod. Now he's into the fiddly little left-hander. Oh, twitches a bit, but he gets that one done, and he stays clean.
Onto the front straight they go again, and Bibby v Fletcher, 2 teammates. Sorry, 2 different teams. Texense Fitstyle versus Radicals is just 1/10 of a second apart, and it looks like the BMW is going to stay ahead for now.
Yeah, 2 of the fastest drivers out there, Bibby and Fletcher, fighting over 13th place. Really have good quality left in this field, I tell you. People say all the numbers have dropped down, but the drivers who are left, really, really strong. And here's another example, Adam, as that is Dave Baker dragging his way past Mark Woodhouse.
Yeah, Porsche up into 8th place, 4 places gained. Not too many drastic position changes like we saw in races 1 and 2. Biggest mover in the field is Lewis Bibby, who has gained 6 spots in the opening half of the race.
Yeah. And Bibby's done a great job moving forward as much as he has. Gafencu's made 5 places, so has Underhill, so has Harrod. And Christian Rose as well.
Chaz Drake, after threatening to take the lead in the early stages, is now under pressure for second. It's Miguel Freitas in car 999 behind. And then you've got the Ford of Ben Palmer, and then the Ford after that of Andy Shield. And Andy Shield doing a quite job.
Hard. Oh. No, we're going to see the power of this Ferrari, Adam, up the hill. We're seeing that Gafencu was very, very quick in race 1 when he was following another car up there.
Not often that we've got to hear the sound of the Ford this season, or at least recently anyway.
Baker sets the fastest lap in 8th place. Now we're going to see Richard Gafencu, full power for him. Is he going to attack the Ford into the carousel?
That is no, but here comes Freitas up the inside of Chaz Draycott. Chaslington.
Draycott might be able to fight back here, does he? Does he have got the inside?
Oh!
Oh, he Freitas leaves the door open, he doesn't, but
Oh,
nearly contact.
nearly lost the front there, did Draycott, and he might be at a disadvantage now because here comes Ben Palmer in the Ford around the outside. Should have the place, he does. He's up into third.
Good mates, aren't they, Palmer and Draycott? They do work together in Ben Palmer's racing career. So not fighting too hard there, Chaz. Probably thinks that Palmer's got a better chance of doing something in the at the very front of this race. Now Shield and Gafenku resumes again on as we start lap 7. 20-minute race. We've had 11 minutes and 50 seconds. Who's that all the way over to the fence? That's Lewis Bibby having a look at Underhill.
They're correcting there. It's very close for second place as well, I should say. Here, look at this. This is Freitas v Palmer, and it's going to be Palmer ahead.
Palmer needs to be careful though. He's tucked back in quickly, which does allow Freitas to get a little bit of a run, but Freitas not interested in that second place, it seems, at the moment. Probably be more content to just sit in behind Palmer and see if he can take him with him. See if they can catch Jake Blackhall. It's 2.3 seconds that is the amount they need to bridge. Oh, off goes Draycott.
Oh dear.
Oh. Well, he did well to keep the car in a straight line there.
Credit to him, I must admit, because I'd be getting a bit worried if I was doing that. Here is this insane battle pack again of Woodhouse, Camilleri, Underhill, Bibby, Evdocker and Fletcher. Fletcher looking to the inside, doesn't go for it. Bibby might be able to pounce on Underhill though, who went quite deep into the right-hander at the bottom of the bottom of the boots there.
Yeah, it seems like he carries good speed into the corners, Underhill. Maybe lacks a little bit on exit. On balance, it's pretty good for him though. I wonder if Underhill's best tactic might be to attack Camilleri and maybe do some attacking instead of defending here. 3 wide in the background. Almost.
Yeah, Wood, Harrod and I'm guessing that is
Rose.
Yeah, Christian Rose.
Oh yeah, that is. Harrod's trying to hang tough in the S's section, but can't quite do it. Instead, he tucks back into the slipstream of the team-mad BMW. So go once again down the long back straight here at Watkins. Into the carousel then, what's gonna happen? Got to have a lot of faith in the other driver when you go side by side through there.
On the inside goes the CQR GT car, and through into 16th place goes Pete Harrod. Meanwhile, these two have been exchanging positions ever since we were looking at that battle. It has been Gafenku versus Shield side by side for the best part of half a lap.
Yeah, car 007 doesn't want to bond with the Ferrari. They might well do here.
Got a movie about each other out at the moment. Up the inside goes Gafenku.
Oh wow, good grip from the outside from the Ford GT. Shields having to fight hard just to stay ahead of Nicholas Hjelm. Oh, Shield hits the grass, he bounces over the curb.
Oh.
Can he control it? No, he can't, he spins. And I don't know where he's ended up, but everyone's missed him.
I think he's just about missed.
Is he in the pit lane?
I think he's just about missed the wall. I think he managed to stop, but he's jumped to the pits, and that's his season over.
Yeah, I wonder if he got stuck, did he?
Yikes.
Does he get stuck in the... no, he doesn't, but I think he realises at that point there's very little point in carrying on. Final race of the season. Not even with the chance of any championships or anything like that. Might as well go and have an early night. This is Baker and Woodhouse fighting. That's in the carousel. Baker's cleared him. Good exit speed by Baker. The former BSRTC champion is through. Just 4 minutes of the season to go then. And the main battle as well is in the team's championship. It was in the team's championship. 441 points was the it is the margin, so that's looks like that's gone in favour of KC Racing Esports. Of course, all results will be provisional ones. Woodhouse and Woodhouse was 59 points clear in the AM category. He looks like he's going to take that one, so that's why he didn't push it too hard against Dave Baker. And this is Chris Wood trying to make as many points as he can, but at the end he knows it's potentially a little bit futile. Too far behind, but he's put up a great battle all season.
Oh, so close to the wall there was Chris Wood on the exit of the final corner. Back with this battle though, this is Simon Underhill versus Ev Docker versus Fletcher, and this is probably one of the final duels we'll see this season. Just 2 attempts between all 3 of these guys as they come onto the straight. Fletcher looking to the outside.
Oh! We've not seen anybody go into the Armco on the way up the S's yet. There's still time though, lads.
3 wide.
Oh well, they're thinking to heck with it on the final race. Camilleri, who's going to win the championship, shows why he's championship caliber with that piece of driving to stay ahead of Lewis Bibby. Bibby tried. Oh, he goes a bit wide. Does not slow him down, however. Bibby's going to have to try and mount another attack. At the front, incidentally, Adam, just while we look at this battle, Jake Blackall's extended his lead to 2.8 seconds over Ben Palmer. Charles Draco looks like he's going to receive some of the bubbly in 3rd.
And we're going to be starting the final lap of the season in a moment. As you can see from the track map, Blackall is just coming through the final corner now. Bibby, one of the drivers of the night so far, really. Finished in the top 4 in race 2, won the race in race 1, and here he is, biggest mover in the field in race 3, up 10 positions to 9th in the final race of the evening.
It's going to be very close, but he should finish 4th in the championship, Lewis Bibby, and I think he'll find that to be an excellent result. And he knows he's got pace for, you know, if and when season 7 appears, he knows he'll be able to challenge for the title from the very beginning.
Final lap, and this battle just carries on. Looks like it's never going to end. It will probably carry on into the off-season here. Woodhouse trying everything he can to remain in 10th place, but here comes the floodgates. Are the opening? It's 3 wide.
Oh, again. Why not go for it on the last lap? If you crash, you crash, boys.
Checkers.
Well, I suppose Woodhouse doesn't want to crash. Oh, there's a Helms in the wall.
Oh dear, what a nightmare way to end his season.
I suppose actually Woodhouse cannot afford a crash.
At least that's Woodhouse up into 10th.
Just in case anything crazy happens, he needs to finish this race, Mark Woodhouse.
Yeah, and I think he knows that. You can see he's letting everybody through relatively easily here.
He's giving the space to most of the drivers and to Fletcher. Here comes Blackall though, Adam. We said he got reversed onto pole, and we said he needed a good result. He's not won all season, Jake Blackall. He's had some terrible races, some poor luck. The Australian server doesn't help, but he does come through the final corner, and he takes the final race of the season to end 2019 on a high. Jake Blackall wins the final round here at Watkins Glen. And it looks like, oh, what's that? It's Woodhouse. But he should still take the AM category. His rival Chris Wood has gone past him. There were 59 points between them. It shouldn't be a problem. It's not what he wanted, however. And the final lap did not go quite to plan for Mark Woodhouse. But I believe he is the AM champion.
Well, this is what happened. So he's got the Ferrari of Fletcher behind him. Into the penultimate corner, he defends the inside line. Fletcher goes to the outside. They turn in. Oh! Loses on
Oh,
entry.
he just loses it. The Ferrari kind of gets stuck.
Oh,
He was brave to do that rejoin, I tell you.
and the donuts are being done by Woodhouse. In fact, many drivers are doing donuts. It is the final race of the season. Who's the other driver doing donuts there? That's one of the
Some
team.
nice donuts over there. I tell you, whoever's doing those, it's quite well done.
That's his
I think it is
teammate
Chris Wood.
colleague. Yeah, that is Chris Wood. Where's our champion, by the way?
Woodhouse.
There we go. Here are KC Racing Esports. Very, very happy indeed.
Yeah, what a season it's been for them. They've really put the nose to the grindstone, worked exceptionally hard. Keith Camilleri, Brandon Tabone, and Michael Evdoka. Sorry, Richard Gafenku, sorry. Have taken the team's championship by quite some way. And yeah, they've done it brilliantly. And Camilleri had them ever since halfway in the season when there was such upheaval and changes in the season. Camilleri's really, in the second half of the season, he's coming to his own and just surged to this championship.
Yeah, there've been many hurdles to overcome. I remember the street race at Belle Isle, which was an enduro. That was pretty interesting to say the least. Many other enduros to overcome as well. I think we had one at Spa and many other pretty interesting circuits that we've been to. But yeah, Camilleri, who we're looking at here, has overcome all of them. And KC Racing Esports have emerged as the team's champions and thoroughly deserved. And we'll see if they come back to try and retain their title when the next season gets underway in 2020.
Yeah, hopefully so. It's been a tremendous World GT Championship this season. We've enjoyed bringing it to you on iRacing Esports Network. And Adam, the final results of the final round are on the screen.
Yeah, as the field stop on the start-finish line, either for a photo or to do some donuts, not too sure. As we look in the background of Camilleri doing the donuts, here are the results. Jake Blackhall wins, Ben Palmer second, Chad Straker on the podium. I think he'll be delighted with that. Then it's Miguel Freitas, Richard Gafenku, Dave Baker in his customary sixth. The curse lives on. Camilleri, then it's Bibby, Evdoka, and then Underhill in 10th. Then just a tenth of a second between Pete Harrod and Christian Rose. They finished P11 and 12. Mark Fletcher in the end had to drop back to 13th after having to get on the brakes to stop colliding with Woodhouse. Warmingham in 14th, then it's Tabone, then it's Chris Wood, Mark Woodhouse, there he is, and then Michael Blake in 18th. 19th for Ben Gregory, Ethan Bass in 20th, and Andy Shield, having not the best evening, collided with Christian Rose in turn 1 at the start of race 1, collided with Ethan Bass at turn 1 in race 2, and then in race 3 spun in the final corner and retired early, and was the only retirement in this final race of the season.
Yeah, unfortunate end for Shield, but hopefully he'll be back for the next season and yeah, in fighting shape, no doubt. A lot of donuts going on. Do appreciate that, giving the crowd the entertainment that they deserve. And coming from the interview room into the commentary box is Christian Rose, and it's always good to have you in the commentary box, Christian. It looks like in the end it should be it should just about be 7th in the championship. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, it's been a tough season, that's for sure. Lots of interesting moments throughout, but there's fantastic drivers in the series this year. So to be in the top 10.
I'm sorry, Christian, I can't really hear you at all. I don't know if you could hear him, Adam, could you?
I heard bits. I'm cranking his volume up. Sorry, Christian.
So have you got a copy now?
Can just about hear you.
Okay. Yeah, no, really pleased with how I've performed this season. There's been a lot of fantastic drivers. You know, got to look at the likes of Keith, Mark, etc. Michael have done a fantastic job as well. So yeah, I'm happy with how I've performed this season.
Well, great. Well, thanks for joining us anyway. Oh, in the commentary box. Like I say, we're having a few little issues here, but I'm pretty sure you just said there's a load of great drivers in the series, and happy to be a part of it. Well done for the season in general, and I think we're gonna have to let you go on that one, but yeah, well done anyway, and we'll be happy to see you along next season if you come in.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, Christian.
Cheers.
Just
Let's
about heard from him.
Let's see if Mark Fletcher can see if this can be a little bit more successful. Mark, can you hear us?
I can indeed.
Hello.
Oh, there you go. That sounds a bit better.
Oh, technical issues, was there?
Yeah, we couldn't hear Christian very well, so we were wondering if it was us or not. But well done for the season. Really good fight. It looks like second overall in the end. How would you sum that race, that entire championship up?
I'll tell you, the championship's been brilliant, I have to say. Credit to the guys that run this and you guys that support it. Really, especially Matt Bunn. I know he's got a lot of stuff on his plate, with all the protests and stuff like that. But it's been really good. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and we've enjoyed watching the race the last few weeks. Today it looked like you were going for it, really, going a bit hell for leather, and you had to try something, I guess, being 140 odd points behind coming into the meeting. You gained a few points back in the end, but it wasn't to be in the end.
Yeah, it was one of those. I knew it was going to be tough. I've had a tough couple of meetings, really. I got rolled at Silverstone in the Enduro. A couple of silly incidents that, looking back, I probably shouldn't have gone for. And it just seems at the minute, when everybody spins in front of me, I also spin. Like, Gafenku was nowhere near me, but I saw this KC racing car going, so I just thought, I'll join him, why not?
Yeah, it seems to be a thing that I think a lot of people do, and I don't think we'll ever. It's like a kick in snooker. I don't think anyone will ever really understand why it happens, but it did, and you were quite lucky to get away with it as well as you did. Before we let you go, we've got a couple more people to speak to, but is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to after the season's finished?
Yeah, to everybody that's participated and made it a great season. It's been brilliant racing with all the TechSense Fits Type guys and all the KC Racing guys. It's been brilliant. Thanks to everyone at Radicals, Cranfield, Joe Real Timing, the Motaf Podcast Boys, U-Turn Racing, and my sponsor, Sim Racing Studio.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, mate. We've, like I say, we've really enjoyed seeing you racing this season, and I hope we'll see you back for the next one.
Yep, catch you next Sunday for the American GT.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm definitely in on that. And I think, just for you guys as well, I think Avdoka's racing as well.
Ah, okay. Battle rejoined. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But thanks for your help, guys. Cheers for
see you later.
Bye bye.
Cheers. And I think we'll also be joined in the commentary box. Adam Bath has found what I assume is a very, very happy Mike Woodhouse. Woodhouse squared in the commentary box.
There's two Woodhouses in the commentary box. Well, Mark, well done. I must admit on taking the Pro-Am honours. Tell you what though, that final two corners made us very worried. What about you?
Yeah, a bit disappointed with that. Put a bit of a dampener on the evening, but got away with it just about.
Was your strategy on that final lap? It looked like you were letting quite a few cars by. Did you realise that you just wanted to get the points on the board and decided to just let them by a little bit?
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't want to sort of get tangled up in a 3 wide going into the carousel, so just taking a bit careful really. All I had to do was finish races tonight, so stuck to the plan really.
Season as a whole, obviously pretty successful for you. You're taking the Pro-Am honours. Highlights of the season for you?
Oh, that's a tough one. Put me on the spot now.
We've had so many races. I can barely remember last week, but yeah, I don't know. Tough one.
Yeah, I've enjoyed tonight though. It's been good fun.
Back to defend the title next season?
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, be interesting to see what the plan is from the admins.
And what about your Team Mad colleagues? Some of them in different cars to you, but they've all had pretty consistent seasons too, the likes of Chris Wood and and Freitas all looking pretty strong tonight.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Chris missing last week because with the drop in drivers, it sort of made his drop week quite a big score to miss out on. So unfortunately, it was a tough night for him really to catch me.
Nice, but yeah, the Porsche overall looking pretty good for you.
I enjoy it. It's probably the quickest car for me to drive, but I don't think it's the quickest car out there, to be honest, out of the 4 GTE cars.
And if we were to put both Woodhouses in a race, would you be the one that would probably come out on top?
Yeah, I know we would
crash into each other probably.
We'll have to see that on the track sometime, I think.
Back in the day, yeah, I would say so, but not
yeah,
not
definitely that.
Heralding from you were Club Series veterans, weren't you, back in the day on the Sunday night? Yeah.
That was where you started, wasn't it, Mike?
It was, yeah. That's what brought me back into iRacing, doing that.
So
there you go.
we did have some good scraps in that, and but yeah, I think you've improved a bit more than I have. So who knows? Though?
I think all three of us
have not
been
racing, have you?
we race on the in the VSRTC on Sundays. I think actually all three of us have got victories in the Club Series. So I think that's something that all three of us have in common, and that's probably the best way to.
Mate.
Oh, you sure? I don't know.
I've not won a race ever. In any of the private leagues I've competed in.
All right, I'm going to have to write that down for next season. Well, Mark, before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
Yeah, obviously to my teammates in Team Mad. We always work well together. Yourselves for the broadcasts, the admins, our affiliate partners, Fanatec, Overclockers, our other sponsors, Immortal, Small Time Productions, Phoenix Racing, Called Rescue, and the Simon Racing.
Great, rassled that off the tongue. That was class.
Yeah, had it prepared.
Did Paul Smith make you write all that down? Did he?
No.
I'll tell you what. I will leave you with one parting sentence though. Who needs race wins when you can win a title? Eh?
Yeah. Just be consistent. That's all you need.
That's it.
Consistency is key. Yeah.
Finish races.
Well, Mark, well done on taking the title, and yeah, hope to see you again in 2020.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mark Woodhouse there, very happy to be winning the title. I think we need to talk about improvement, Adam. I think we've seen over the last year or two just massive improvement. Been great strides from him.
I'm sure that win's around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in contention, hasn't he?
Yeah.
In a few races, so it's only a matter of time. We see when you get your first one, then it makes everything a lot easier.
Right then, who we got lining up next? It's Ethan Bass from BritTech Simsport. It looks like he's going to join us for what looks set to be the final interview of the night.
Yeah, we've only got a couple of minutes left, Ethan, but we're very glad you joined us in the commentary box. Can you hear us for the start?
Yes, I can hear you quite clearly.
There we go.
Good. You might have to speak up a tiny bit. I think you're quite quiet. You weren't as quiet as Christian Rose. I think only dogs could hear him, actually. Sorry, Christian. But yeah, Ethan, it looked like you had a lot of fun out there today. I mean, some incidents were more fun than others, but it looked like you had a good scrap.
Yeah. Race 1 was really a lot of fun. It was probably the highlight of the night. Kind of thing. It was really good fun, close racing. This is a track I absolutely adore. I did not do myself any favours in qualifying though, but that's lack of teammates and slight mistakes. But it was overall still good fun.
In terms of the, I'm looking more towards next season, really. Obviously, for you, are you gonna make some teammates with you next season?
I think that's probably down to a number of factors. Obviously, everyone else has got all real life stuff to do, and obviously I think it's the case of what kind of track car combo, or what kind of things are done for next season. I mean, because unfortunately, I don't want to harp on about how there's not so many drivers, but because the drivers here are actually great people to race with, and outside of the slight misjudgments that we all make, it's like it happens, but. Hopefully, I have teammates who want to come do GT racing. It's just unfortunately a couple of things built up over the season, and it was a case of they can focus on other things, I guess, because they've only got a limited amount of time to practice, and it's a case of you want reward from all your practice.
No, I completely agree, and I think me and Adam, I think will definitely agree with those sentiments in recent times. But yeah, well, it's been good to see you out there anyway. We do hope we see you for the next season. Do you want to give any shout-outs, as we probably have to get off in the next minute or two?
Okay, thanks very much, yes. I do enjoy the BMW. Even if the BOP hurt us and put some bit more weight onto the car, we'd probably be a hell of a lot faster on the straights if that hadn't happened, but oh well. But apart from that, yep, just want to say thanks to Chris Downes for taking me on to BritTech Sim Sport, and thanks to Mark Sykes for the amazing car. It looks probably the best car out there, alongside with the TCR car which you saw last night. That was good fun. It was good fun racing you lot last night.
Yeah.
And then thanks to Sim Labs for the great sim. It's great simulators. The rigs are amazing. NGR and Joyce Designs.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for joining us again, Ethan, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Hopefully, I'll get a podium at some point.
I'm sure you will.
It was going so well in race 2, wasn't it? Until Shield arrived on the scene in that one.
Yeah, an unfortunate misjudgment. It happens, I guess.
Cool.
Right, that's it. It sometimes happens, and like you said, I think the quality of driver has been very, very high this season. So yeah, I think I'm sure that will continue. Thanks very much, Ethan. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks very much. Catch you next season.
Cheers. And well, why not, Adam? You have a quick word with Dave before we leave.
And the final word of the season goes to Dave Baker. Hello.
Howdy guys, how are you?
Oh, very well. Yeah, we've enjoyed everything tonight. I think you've barely been outside the top 10 tonight. 7th in race 1, 6th in race 3. I'm guessing somewhere in between that in race 2.
I don't know. It's been a bit of a blur, to be honest. It's been a really good night racing in general. I know there's been a few incidents along the grid and all that sort of stuff. Tonight was really good fun. Porsche lacked a little bit of horsepower down the straights, which made overtaking quite challenging. But end of a long season, but a good way to finish it, I think.
I was going to say, it's been a brutal campaign. Brutal in just how long it is. I think it was in the height of summer when we got going here. And now it's literally freezing. And yeah, it's had its ups and downs throughout the course of the campaign. But yeah, how would you sum up your season as a whole?
I think, given the competition that we've had this year, it went as well as could be expected. I'd obviously like to be a bit higher up in the championship, but we had some incredibly quick guys join the championship this time around. Not all of them stayed around to the end for varying different reasons, wanting to get involved in other series and focus their efforts there, and kind of understand that. But some of the guys that we've had along the way, and Mark Fletcher, who was in earlier on the broadcast, those guys are seriously quick, and I'm glad that there's been some broadcasts where they've been able to show the talent that they've got.
And the Porsche itself, how's that held up against the likes of Ferrari, BMW, and for tonight Ford as well?
I struggled this year in the Porsche. Just something hasn't felt right for a while. I mean, I've probably put my hands up. I've not had as much time in the car as I would have liked, so it's a bit new to me every week and sort of getting back up to speed in it. But it's a nice car to drive, but I've just not gelled with it this season as much. But hopefully we put on some good races in it nonetheless.
Just watching you take evasive action from Andy Shield in front of you there in race 3. 2020 then. Are you going to stick with the car, or CQR got other plans up their sleeve?
Who knows, Adam? Who knows?
Yeah.
I think we've had a long season this one.
Yeah.
I know the admins want to take a step back and kind of see what worked, what did, and we'll take it from there. So not everything is on the table, so to say.
Well, at least you can focus on the Audi for the remaining couple of weeks of 2019.
Yeah, and I definitely need to do that, because the boys in that again are quick. I mean, not only in the broadcasts that we run on Thursdays that you guys so expertly cover, but people like Jack and Alex and everything running in the Neo series, again, walking away with the wins there. They're leaving us for dust. So yeah, now I can focus a little bit more on that car and hopefully gain some of the speed back.
I'll tell you what, the pace of those guys in that series is frightening.
Yeah, that's the only word to describe it.
Yeah, we race on a Sunday, and when we look at the grid for the Thursday, I think we'd probably be towards the back. I think if we were competing on a Thursday night. Well,
yeah, but Thursdays are all about survival and knowing how to predict what's going to happen in front of you, because they're so that's part of the game.
Well, Dave, it's been a pleasure as always. Before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anyone?
Yeah, so I'm sure the guys in the broadcast that you've been interviewing already have said it. I want to thank all of the drivers and teams that turned up, whether they just did one race or did the whole season. I want to thank the admins who worked behind the scenes to bring the season to you, and that includes the guys who have given up a lot of their time to steward the meetings afterwards. So, big thanks to Simon and Miguel and everybody for stepping up to do that, because they probably don't get enough recognition for the time and effort that they put in. You guys, obviously, for putting on a great broadcast all year. I look forward to watching them back after the races have been done. And I think that's about it, really.
Great. Well, it's been great to watch you on the track as always, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you back in this championship at least in the new year. But yeah, thanks for taking the time to come and speak to us, Dave.
That's all right. Thank you very much, guys. You take care.
Cheers, Dave. Right. Well, Adam, all that remains to be said really is thank you for covering the season all the way through. Have you enjoyed it since you've been doing every single race?
Oh yeah, well, apart from the first one, I think. Which you filled in for nicely. Yeah, we started off the campaign with cars flying through cars and cars launching into the air like missiles out of whatever. But yeah, it's been a fantastic campaign. Lots of talking points throughout. We had some definite stuff kicking off at Imola. We've had some epic enduros as well, aside from the 3 20-minute sprint races. And we've had 3 very worthy champions in Keith Camilleri, in Casey Racing Esports, and of course Mark Woodhouse in the Pro-Am category. So I know after hearing that Matt Bunn is eager to get 2020 on the road, so hopefully it won't be too long before we see all of these guys back on the grid for another campaign, and it should be another good one.
Well, thanks very much, Adam, and I'm sure we'll see you next season. Right. Well, from myself, it's been great to be covering this series again. I started with it when it first started, and yeah, it was always a little bit of something missing from a Monday night when I wasn't doing it. So I'm glad to be back, and we've seen some brilliant racing over the past 6 or 8 weeks that we've been doing this again. Congratulations to Casey Racing for winning the Teams Championship, Keith Camilleri for the Drivers' Championship, and Mark Woodhouse for taking home the AM category. But from all of us here at Watkins Glen, and all the people who've covered the series, including Sam Fitzpatrick, Alex Simpson, and I'm sure a few others along the way, it's good night from Apex Racing TV, the iRacing Esports Network, and Season 6 of the World GT Championship. We'll see you in 2020. Thank you.